Can I borrow about 15 years? Let's still leave you.
This hour of the Alan Autry Show is sponsored by Sinlaw, the most realistic artificial grass in the Central Valley.
From NFL quarterback to Hollywood to the mayor's office, and now behind the mic at KXEX, this is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody. That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX.
And welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat Big Wednesday. And that's when most Wednesdays I get to sit next to one of my mentors in life and best buddies, Larry Powell, Sir Lawrence of Powell.
Hey.
Powell through the people fame. Welcome.
Love to be with you.
And to his right, way over there to the right, way over there in Barry Goldwater land, is Mr. Guillermo Moreno. Welcome,
Hey,
Guillermo.
always a pleasure to be here. And you remember,
could you say that with like just a little bit more?
Hey.
Yeah.
and,
Great to be here.
and remember, I'm a Scottish lord.
Yes, you are.
My wife paid the $49.99
Take
for
a little
my.
piece
For
of
one
land.
square,
For
one square foot of
one
Scotland.
inch.
Was it
Yeah.
1 inch?
So it's your
It's an
lordship.
inch.
Your lordship.
How much is it? Is
I
it
don't
an
even know
inch?
why I'm talking with the peasantry today.
Because
I love it.
because I'm an owner of a piece of the Packer organization. They sold stock too.
You have stock?
Yeah, just it was worthless, but
Oh,
they sell to raise money.
do you still have stock?
No,
Oh,
I just lied. Right now. Bald faced lie. I never bought it. I was tempted.
call you Joe Biden.
I was tempted. The Lord. No, I wasn't. I was. Yes, I was tempted. You don't throw away money like that. Give it to St. Jude's.
Yeah, really.
Packers got a lot of money. I mean, testing comes from God. Testing comes from God, and tempting comes from the devil. I was tempted to buy that stock, and I didn't. So, hey, anyway, folks that are looking, I got 2 things I got to make you aware of. Number one, I pulled a muscle in my neck, and I tell you, I'm walking around like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz. So if you see me moving back and forth, I mean, I don't mean to whine, but Dad, come, my
Does
wife.
that mean you can't turn to the left?
Yeah, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. In fact, it's really hard to turn to the right. In fact, being right here in the middle, looking straight ahead is a task. I might just drop completely out. But also, anyway, these guys had me going. Not you, Larry. You weren't part of this just demeaning, insulting conspiracy that Guillermo and Bullet Bob had. Saying that I had
here
a
we go.
bald spot in the back of my. And Kim said I do too, and I don't believe I went back there.
Comb overs work.
Well, no, wait, I don't want to
Yeah,
comb
that's what
over.
I'm, yeah.
I'm going to turn around and let the audience hear. Radio, obviously, you can't see.
Yeah.
Facebook. See that?
Not a bit of baldness there.
Huh?
No baldness.
He pointed right there.
Yeah.
That's
There's
because
no-
your
and there's
hair
no ball
wasn't
spot,
combed
huh?
over there.
And Jeremy saying no ball spot. Okay, thank you.
We don't have the
Listen,
best.
Listen, guys like Jerry Dyer, they look good bald. He's got the telesexuality.
Yeah.
But I don't. I put on one of those skull caps one time for Halloween. One thing, I had bumped, lumpy head, big old bison head. I mean, and I'm borderline ruggedly handsome on a really good day between the hours of 10 a.m. and 10:15. If I go bald, man, I'm going strictly off the air and podcast, audio only, man.
See this amount of hair I've got.
Look at
Boy,
that.
I mean,
Look at that.
75, baby.
That's nice hair.
Remember that Brill Cream commercial? Brill Cream, a little
Little
dab, do ya? Use more only if you dare. Watch out, the girls have to pursue you. They love to run their fingers through your hair.
Exactly.
Do I run
Real
my
cream.
fingers through your hair right now? You'd really. Just
I don't want
You'd
any
hurt,
I don't.
you'd hurt your neck.
All right, folks. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming in, dialing in, logging in, whatever. When you give of your time, you give of yourself. We certainly appreciate that very, very, very much. So much out there happening. Where do I begin to start? Let's start with Rob Bonta again. It was good to see, at least it was good for me. Guillermo, you were on the show when talking about this gender affirmation procedures that they put. Affirmation, called gender affirmation, right?
Yep.
Where no, it's bodily physical mutilation. They give it this fancy name. Remember way back when in the 20s, going, hey, you have a little bit of behavior we need to address, and it's actually a process called a frontal lobotomy. It won't hurt. It's nice, and you'll come out of it. You'll be nice and calm.
Nothing will bother you.
Yes, nothing. Then Groucho Marx, I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a
Frontal lobotomy.
But do you know how many people were maimed by that procedure that they didn't think out, that was sold under the guise that you would have a better quality of life if you were different, somehow thought different, somehow. And people, well, you compare that to gender dysphoria. We don't know. And to let kids, before they're 18, over 3,500 kids between the ages of 12 and 18 have had that
gender reassignment,
gender affirmation, with meaning the boys have had their testicles completely removed, dissolved, puberty blockers taken, breasts removed. I mean, irreversible stuff. Now, Rob Bonta sent out an email telling basically every parent, giving a middle finger to every parent in California, said, we are not going to inform you when your 7-year-old says, I'd like to change genders. In fact, we may even refer them to someone that can get them going in that process. Who would that be? Well, school counselor. What background do they have in gender dysphoria? Well, nothing, but it's better than you, parent, who won't let them get started on that right away. And just an amazing thing for the Attorney General to do. Well, he's in Fresno, Guillermo, Larry, and he has another one that comes. You got to be kidding me, file. He's in wide-eyed amazement that the amount of illegal sales of marijuana have gone up since they legalized it. I mean,
that the opposite of what they said would happen?
Well, yes, of course. And all my libertarian friends out there, we had these arguments that it's going to take that OxyContin, Percocet, fentanyl, that's all legal. You got to have it's a controlled substance. Has that stopped the illegal trade? Well, I think if you talk to over 500,000 that OD'd last year on illegal fentanyl, probably not. So my question to you all is, when does the craziness, when does the electorate, let me put it this way, is the electorate that keeps electing these far left folks like Gavin Newsom by landslides, is there light out of the tunnel with this kind of nonsense going on? I mean, when you start messing with the kids, I know some of the most liberal of liberal friends that I have go, you know what? I got to tap my brakes on that one.
Yep.
My question is it, or is California just irreversibly Jim Jones Kool-Aid drunk and are willing to go drink the Kool-Aid and kill themselves and the entire economy to stand by this woke nonsense?
What's happened is very few in leadership like Bonta think past today. They look, it's like, put your finger in your mouth to see which way the wind's blowing, and they see which way the wind's blowing, and that's where they come out, and what they're in favor of. Unfortunately, they don't look beyond, and yet what are we really told to do? Parents tell kids, plan for the future, think ahead. What happens if you do this? There's a consequence for actions. We've eliminated the consequence for an action that we take, and we've made it favorable, and something that should be done is where you no longer worry about what will happen down the line. You just correct it again, with another surgery or whatever. And I just think it's such a major affront to every parent in California that you can't make the decisions that impact and benefit your kids.
But you mentioned
audacity.
You mentioned something though, putting your finger to the wind. I was watching last night Joe Rogan and Bill Maher, not your embodiment of conservatism by any stretch of the imagination, adamant and passionately opposed to this kind of surgeries on kids, having kids make that choice. Now, those are two pretty liberal dudes.
Yep.
Is the wind really blowing that way? I mean, is he sticking his finger up in the wind going, well, this is what the majority of Californians want, so I'm going to go there? That's what confuses me. And when I say, is this a bridge too far for California? Could these things, when you go after kids,
Yes,
and you do something, Guillermo, this insane, could this be the beginning of somewhat of a turnaround to sanity within the Democratic Party?
No. We are that bad. There's no turnaround. This is just going to get progressively worse. This today, like I told you yesterday, it's going to be criminal liability for parents that don't allow, sexual transitioning. I mean, we're going to continue pushing not we, but they're going to continue pushing the envelope. This is, if you remember 5 years ago, what the most mind-boggling thing was, we're probably looking at that man, I wish I actually had that. I think 5 years from today, we're going to be doing the same thing. So we're constantly going to go down this slippery slope until parents push back, but parents are never going to push back. The majority of them in mass will not push back. But I just want to tell you, the breaking news is doesn't look like they're going to allow Powell and Chesborough to get out of the so they're not moving the trial, or they're not going to allow them to separate in the Trump case. And I think the judge is pretty much saying, you guys are all going to be tried together. Let's make the deadline set.
All of them, or just
so far both.
No, I mean both. There's 19 of them.
Yeah, so they want to keep them together.
All 19.
All 19.
Or just because Chesborough and Powell wanted to separate.
Yeah, it's a no.
But Chesborough didn't want to go with Sidney Powell.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, so it's a no. So it's a no. So yeah, it looks like they're gonna they're gonna stick them all together so far. And this judge is just pedal to the metal on the Trump thing. Sorry.
Well, I tell you, in Fulton County, that's
like, he looks a little conservative, right?
You know what? Not
no hair.
What? but I think people make judgments.
You do
based on, I think, just by look.
This is our first glimpse into the courtroom.
To me, he looks as liberal as they come.
First glimpse into the courtroom.
Is that right? Oh gosh, yes.
First glimpse into the courtroom, and my first thought was is he conservative judge or a liberal judge?
He's got a blue tie.
Oh, you're right. Trump's guilty. Prison time.
Folks on radio were looking up the live feed, first televised hearing in Desperate DAs, the new series. With Fannie Willis, they're gonna televise that sucker.
Yeah, it's televised now.
I think it's good. I mean, all the way through.
Well, this is the first. This says a lot. I mean, you look at it. I was already curious. Okay, is he right? Is he lefty? Who are these people doing these motions? Who are the defense?
Okay, let me make a sweeping statement. It's based on a lot of common sense. Like I said the other day, there's people that graduate from USC. I graduated from a much, much more powerful university.
Graduated.
UCS, University of Common Sense. I got my degree from my parents. I got my master's from life. I got my doctorate from God.
Yeah.
Amen.
And any official that has the ability to stop this nonsense and dismiss the case is liberal. The only chance Trump has is a 1 out of 12 chance that one juror, will get in there and say, I have not completely lost my ever-loving freaking mind, and I am not going to go along with the insane asylum. I'm not going to go along with Nurse Ratched and the rest of the crazy cuckoo's nest.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because that's my new name. That'll be my new name for Fannie Willis, Nurse Ratched. I mean, it's a cuckoo's nest. I mean, who would still keep Joe Biden in office right now? Except a country, half of the country has gone clinically insane. There is no push to remove this individual who clearly he can't. He's not up to the job. People are getting killed left and right because he gets into this war, Ukraine. Oh yeah, that's a great move. You move out of a war you've been in for 20 years. You let 14 Marines get blown up. You leave $75 billion worth of equipment, and let's get right back into another war over there in Europe and send them $100 billion more. I mean, It's absolutely insane. Some guy goes, Well, inflation's good. And we're going, isn't he good? He's created more jobs. No, those are jobs that came back from COVID. All of this, he didn't create more jobs than they're going around. He's created more jobs. Van Jones created more jobs. No, these were jobs that were lost during COVID or put on hold during COVID, and corporations and businesses are bringing them back. And that's starting to slow down. They were already created. You made the vacancy. You created the unemployment. We're shutting down all these businesses and the schools. And now, fellas, I need your comment. Doesn't it look like they're going to start doing it again? Because here comes election time. Yeah. You saw Joe Biden with the mask. You're already seeing some businesses requiring masks.
Was he wearing the mask?
Yes. Don't you watch it? Aren't you a complete addict like me?
I am not anymore.
I'm up there with my clicker. He rocks. Yeah, let me see what let me see. Honey, what are you doing? Watching news? Oh, really? I would have never guessed.
Every station.
I go right from my Star Trek reruns to a.
Let me give you a little bit of why we're where we are.
Yeah.
In order to have.
I'll tell you why we're where we are.
You sound like John Wayne there. Go ahead, Larry. Tell it like it is.
Yeah, there's a lot about that you'd like to know.
Well, let us know, Pilgrim.
To have consensus and common sense, you have to have common values. And once we lost common values, and America starts, recognizing the tolerance available for everybody, which then becomes advocacy for anything. Once you start doing that, you no longer have consensus. You no longer have common sense. You have people doing the dumbest things. And then you have this disaffection that takes place with people that I don't want to be picked on. I don't want to be labeled. I don't want to be pointed out that I'm different. And so,
like Paul Dictos.
Yeah. So you stop saying.
We're going to talk about that on the show. You messed with Paul Dictos, you messed with us.
Yeah. You stop saying things that make sense. The general electorate just goes along with it after a while. They're so exhausted with the fear of being pointed out as not complying with the woke stuff that's happening. They don't want to be labeled. And I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it.
You know what I think woke is? People say, what is woke? Woke is anything that's not traditionally American. Is woke. Respect for country. No, that's traditional America. The nuclear family of a mom and dad. No. Yeah, that's a secure border. No.
I think you've hit on something there.
Yeah. No, I mean anything. It's just degree of wokeness from that point.
Yeah.
Because it is really death of authorship. If you identify as a conservative and you embrace any traditional values like hard work, Alan, don't go. Try that. Float that at some meeting. But see how many times the OCA and the squad talk about hard work for a day's pay. See how many times you Google it. OCA says you need to work hard in order to make a life. That a job shouldn't be just given to you with Google that. See how many faces come up.
I'm okay with woke. I am, because in this country, you can be crazy. In this country, you want to have different ideals in your household, you can do it in this country, as long as it doesn't harm people or harm a child. But at the end of the day, I'm okay with woke, because if people in this country have that opportunity to be that way, you don't have that opportunity anywhere else. So, I mean, this is a special country, and allowing them to be woke is something that we should actually. I'm not saying everyone should become woke, but I don't think it's a bad thing. We aren't doing a good job as conservatives in winning elections. What do I always say? We don't campaign. They ballot harvest. We campaign.
Here's why I disagree. I'm anti-woke when you have an ideology that embraces the cancel culture of getting rid of, put in prison, fire, whatever, anybody who disagrees with you. That is a basic tenet. The free speech is what our founding fathers knew was the cornerstone of staying a free country. You have competing ideas going at each other, and the people listen. They can participate in it. And at the end of the day, whoever can make the most sense in pushing their position for the people and each other, that's what emerges as policy. Okay? It was that robust exchange of ideas, that robust debate, that stuff that be able, if you get ticked off and by gosh, you can actually criticize your government without getting your head lopped off. That was the new thing called America. Wokeism seeks to go back to that dictatorship, authoritarian thing. Liberalism never did that. Liberalism was free speech, man.
Right.
The true liberals that we grew up with was actually, if you mess with that, with Abby Hoffman or Tom Hayden, people don't even know who those people are. They were considered far left back in the day.
Yeah.
They never took on this dangerous woke ideology. Just think about it.
They're middle of the road.
They have an
now.
ideology embraced by our vice president that says because you have a grievance about the past, or you have a grievance of something that happened to somebody who looks like you, not even a representative, who had the same color as you.
Yeah.
You see an egregious act of violence, then you have the right to go burn down somebody's business, shoot somebody, i.e. David Dorn, for no reason, and have the vice president say that that individual had absolutely every right to react violently like that because of what he experienced with George Floyd. And by the way, I'm going to support a no bail. I'm going to send them bail money. That was embraced by the woke culture. That's the woke thing we're fighting against. That's why I don't accept it. I accept liberalism.
Yeah.
But not this dangerous, violent,
but just because they're
racist ideology any more than I would say. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm not talking about liberalism, folks. Hang on here. I'm talking about that woke left that embraces what I just mentioned, that illustration of violence to get rid of any of your opposition. Imprison them if they disagree with you. How you think? That is Nazism. That's fascism. Fascism means you have to think like me. You have to think like the government. So we're gonna orientate you and inculcate you, Larry, as and you go after the children to start first.
Sure.
Would not a country say, I'm all for inclusion, diversity, but I'm not for including violent Nazism into this tent? You draw the line. You have to draw the line on some ideologies. Now they're trying to morph Trump's into some kind of attack on democracy, and that's where I agree with you to a certain degree, but I think the far left woke folks are they just that believe in critical race theory that needs to be stamped out of our public school system. That you teach somebody that they're either oppressed or an oppressor at the day of their birth based on the color of their skin. How un-American! I mean, we had something called the un-American activities, right?
Yep. Sad stuff.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Jake Sullivan just said North Korea is going to pay a big price for helping out Russia. Yeah, we're going to discuss that. Do we have any way at all to hold North Korea accountable for anything? I think you know what my answer is. This is Alan Autry with Larry Powell and Guillermo Moreno. We'll be right back.
I called him Little Rocket Man. And he said, it's an insult. And I said, no, look it up. Rocket Man. Very famous song.
The thing is, right?
He literally, Trump said that. Like,
said that
Kim Jong-un called him out, and he goes, you called me, and he goes, I called you Rocket Man. And then he goes, Kim Jong-un told him, you called me Little Rocket Man. And Trump goes, it's a compliment in my country.
Oh, my gosh. Well, just one thing. We just got to keep Dennis Rodman alive. Kim Jong-un will never bomb America as long as Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
He couldn't live with himself. Ah.
Hey, Mitch McConnell, man. Everyone's making a big deal about Mitch McConnell's health.
What
about that?
Mitch McConnell's health. Everyone's making a big deal about it.
You mean because he's like this?
You let him start. A lot of conservatives want him to stop.
He's artificial intelligence. They put him on pause.
Oh, come on.
No, that's what happened. He's fine.
I wish they'd do that with somebody else, like El Presidente.
Did you see where he left the Medal of Honor winner up on the stage by himself yesterday?
Saw that.
Oh, God. The poor guy was looking around.
What do I do?
He left me. Put the thing around my leg and left. Just left. The guy waited and waited. People were, I was walking by, people were looking at me, where are you going, dude? and then the guy, you hear a voice going, and now to give the benediction will be this. It did.
Somebody was slow on the uptake. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, we're ready, Jeremy. Yeah.
Here we go.
This hour of the Alan Autry Show is sponsored by Simlaw, the most realistic artificial grass in the Central Valley.
And welcome back to Alan Autry, No Retreat. You know why? There's no retreat in me, because I can't run fast enough to get away. Back in the day, I could retreat, weave, do the old weave.
Dodge those defensive linemen.
What do they call that? They got a military name when you change direction, somebody's chasing you. What's that? Anyway. Jake Sullivan felt it necessary to have a press conference to warn North Korea, one Mr. Kim Jong-un. And that's Spanish. Would it be Kim Jong-un? No, it's Uno. It's just Un. I'm going to get in trouble for that. But North Korea apparently has been accused of helping Russia, one of their staunchest allies, have been forever, probably since the end of the Korean War. Although the Korean War was never declared a war, so it never ended, conflict, yada, 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 yada. But Jake Sullivan just got his tighty-whities in a knot up his rear end. He was just beside himself to hear that Kim Jong-un may be sending military aid to Russia. And then he banks it up with another. I mean, this administration, their lines in the sand. It started with Barack Obama out of the Middle East, telling ISIS, you cross this line, you're in big, big trouble. You know, knock this chip off my shoulder. Oh, you do that, you're in trouble. Like two kids, in the schoolyard.
Yep.
And nothing happens. They cross the line. They've been crossed the line. They crossed a whole mess of lines with Obama. And Biden comes out, does the same thing. And then Jake Sullivan comes out and says that North Korea, quote, this is an exact quote. And I always give a disclaimer when I'm paraphrasing this exact quote, that if it's found to be true, well, yes, it's true, Jake. Okay? Dummies like me know that. It's true. North Korea is helping Russia in the war in Ukraine. That if it's true, North Korea will pay a heavy price for the United States of America. What military, economic, cultural thing that North Korea wants from us so desperately that we're providing them, can we withhold to punish them?
Only if he likes M&Ms or something. You know, only if he likes M&Ms.
You're not going to be able to.
Do we even make M&Ms in America anymore? I thought they come from Croatia.
Might be.
You're not going to be able to text Dennis Rodman anymore. Kim Jong-un, take that. Yeah, first of all,
I listened to that. I go, you thought that rose to calling a press conference, Jake Sullivan, who is part of this whole Biden cabal thing? I mean, he's as dirty as he comes. He's made more money off war. He's right up there with Blinken, with BlackRock, all of these military guys that make a ton of money in military companies that supply.
This is going to sound bad, but North Korea is not paying into the Biden crime family. That's why they're going after them.
Yeah, but what's the heavy price they're going to pay from us?
What materials are they sending to Russia? what North Korean arms?
Well, let me tell you, they're sending. No, they got drones. Listen, they got a nuclear weapon, missiles. I mean, 1 out of 100 make it off the ground.
They might,
but they got it.
They might shoot it up, and it might kill the Russians. They might kill their own.
Listen,
they're not using anything.
One thing, North Korea is, and that is, heavily armed. Their people are starving to death, but they are heavily armed. They have a surplus of arms.
I guess you're right.
It's like a yard sale here in Fresno. Oh man, I'm glad. Let's sell these arms around the country. Now they're not the most sophisticated, next generation stuff that's coming out of China and the United States, but it's enough to blow up some Ukrainians that are in the trench.
You're right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's some bad stuff going over there, Ukraine, Russia. I mean, it's old school.
You remember
fighting there with old school weapons.
You remember the history? Yeah, Kim Jong-un's grandfather founded North Korea with the help of the Soviet Union.
Well, there you
Kim
go.
Jong-un.
Yeah, so you've got that
That's true.
connection.
Yeah, Kim
so
Jong-un.
he's being true to his grandfather.
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-il.
Kim Jong.
Say that again.
Mm.
We were too busy being silly. Now, if I was in a classroom, you're a former teacher, you would have jumped us and you said, well, we're going to jump our own selves.
No, I had to give him a
Please.
test on it.
Oh, that's really bad, Larry.
Take out a pencil and paper.
You go
Question number 1.
You go for the student juggler.
Oh, absolutely.
Love it. Run that by us again.
Yeah, it's Kim Jong-un's grandfather founded North Korea with the help and the backing of the Soviet Union and was reliant on it for aid for decades. So there's where the connection is. So
way back.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Kim Jong-un thinks just saying he's going to help makes help available. Now that's a sign of insanity as well. So,
well, what do they really expect, Jake Sullivan, this administration, by saying this?
Oh, he can get Dennis Rodman over there.
Well, yeah,
he'll call him and ask him to go over and talk.
I would think that would show more intelligence. Like I said, this administration looks down their nose at the intelligence of the average American. They don't understand that guy working on a body shop down at Blackstone that had to drop out of high school, take care of his family. You're equating that because they don't have PhDs and they didn't plagiarize a speech because when they were running for president. You think that person's not intelligent. I got news for you. As far as real intelligence and wisdom, about 90% of them are much smarter than you and your entire staff of Ivy League graduates. They got common sense. They're very smart intellectually as well. You want to be surprised, you elitist, especially in the Democratic Party. They're in the Republican Party. But I wish you would do this. You would do finance an IQ test, an intelligence test on blue-collar workers and see what you get. It would astound you.
Great insight is what you get.
Snobs.
No,
you know, I mean, come on. And he gets up there. To me, it insults me because I'd see my dad who had to drop out of school in 3rd grade. And he was a farm laborer, raised me. To this day, one of the wisest men I've ever known in my life. He has so much common sense. And if he just versed himself a little bit on this subject and somebody came out and told him that, he would look at him and not only disagree with him, he would be insulted. He would think you were looking down upon him. And he wasn't a touchy guy, or at least didn't show it. But, this is just crazy to say that you have influence. The United States have influence over North Korea. I mean, the only one that might be is Japan because they're the ones that could fire back right away with a missile. And we shoot stuff over North Korea and Japan all the time. Maybe they have. Somebody got 0. And you're getting up there saying that, they better watch it. And you know what it is? It's the old Trump guilty by association and fear mentality that they're trying to put all these people in jail. Some of them need to go to jail. The ones that went to jail, I support on this January 6th thing that plotted this. You went there and you broke into there and you actually did that. You need to serve some time, okay? But you're trying.
How much time?
But you're saying
Not
everybody.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. My point is you need to serve some time. If you broke in, you fight with police. If you did that and went and broke into somebody's business, small business, you need to do time. That's capital. You don't.
In Fresno, you get 0
You don't
time.
do that, and you got to separate those
Minnesota.
those protesters from those crazies that went in there.
Yep.
All right. But they're trying to say if you're associated at all, tangentially or otherwise, with Trump, you deserve to go to prison. We're coming after you. That's what they're trying to do with the rest of the world. North Korea, if you try to do business with Russia, you African countries that are supporting Russia, letting them get those precious minerals that they didn't, anybody that even mentions that they're supporting Russia is going to be put in that list, and they make these empty threats. And it's just a waste of time. It makes you look stupid. It destroys the confidence that most Americans have in our government.
Let me give you a little insight into Kim Jong-un, though. The meeting, if he meets with Putin, is going to be in Vladivostok. Now, here's his thought process. I get to vacation in Vladivostok, which is better than Pyongyang.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the reason he's taking this deal. He's sitting there because, man, when Vladivostok becomes your destination for vacation, something's wrong. It's a comment on North Korea. I get to go to Vladivostok.
I don't even know where that's at.
They got some great nightclubs there.
Yeah, Eastern Russia.
I spent a whole year there one weekend.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Let's move. Hey,
Let me give you one quick comment, a little story about why the blue collar worker is so good. My refrigerator went out one time, and I called to get it repaired. The guy came, and it was 3 minutes to repair it, and $100. And I said, "How in the world? Why was it $100 and only took you 3 minutes?" He said it was $3 for knowing for the part and $97 for knowing where to put it.
Yeah.
See, and I'm willing to pay it.
Yeah.
Because they're so valuable to our society. The blue collar worker, we don't have America without them. It's real simple.
Well, I think the United Auto Workers know that. You see what they're asking for?
It's like a 40% increase.
46%.
46.
Yeah.
Wait,
And they want
chips went up.
They want a 32-hour work week.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry. I do not support that whatsoever.
You think they'll get it?
I hope they don't.
I'm not paying $120,000 for a Chevy.
For a Ford Pinto. I'm not going to happen.
You know why they might get it? Because, people say, oh, look at these companies. They're going all in on electric vehicles, and they really believe in it, and the economic model must work. They're making money. And you're looking around going, do I even know anybody who's bought an electric vehicle lately? I haven't. Okay, but you don't drive it now. You don't drive it now, do you?
I've got a hybrid.
Okay. But no, a full electric.
I had a full
Yeah,
electric.
You did, but you don't now.
I have one.
But you don't now.
I got the charger in the car in case I can't make it.
Okay, well, you're messing up my example. A lot of people don't. I don't have it.
Most don't.
But the deal is, the catch is they're being subsidized, folks, by the federal government. Your tax dollars.
I see where you're going with it.
They've got a guaranteed deal. They could lose on every car, which they're overpriced anyway. So if they agree to the auto workers and the car manufacturers agree to continue to invest in this electric vehicles that nobody's buying, they may go along with this 46% increase because the company's not paying for it. We are. You are. By subsidizing these companies. So, yeah, I saw that and I was like, whoa.
Did you see Tesla just dropped their price thousands and thousands of dollars?
Thanks, Elon.
Yeah, so your value of yours.
Elon loves his money.
Just like Taylor Swift.
I listened to my first Taylor Swift song.
Did it change your life?
No, I listened to
What was it?
Well, I looked at Google because I never knowingly heard her song. And I most popular Taylor Swift song. And it was Love Story.
Oh, it's a good one.
So I sat there all alone because I went at full effect, Larry.
Yeah.
And I put the old phone song on.
There's a music video to it?
Yes, I saw the video. It's on the phone. But I had the earplug so I could hear it really good. And based on that one song, it was nice. It was melodic. It had a nice, easy feel to it. She waiting for her Prince Charming in the video. But I don't, after one song, I'm going to listen to a couple more. But I don't get it.
What do you mean you don't get it?
I don't get it. I know I've heard a lot of other singers sing the same, thing. I just don't. Larry, what you thought? I don't get it.
I don't like her. I don't like the music. Give me a good old country song any day.
I love Taylor Swift. You want to know why?
You know what? It was like drinking water. It didn't taste like anything. You want a Coke or a cup of coffee? It was. I just didn't hear anything special, Guillermo. But now there could be other things because I guess she starts talking about. This was like, "Here's my Prince Charming. I love you, happily ever after." Apparently, according to you Swifties, she starts singing about unrequited love. Is that correct? The term about stuff that goes wrong in relationships and all that. So she gets a little down and dirty and personal in there. Well, down and personal, I shouldn't say dirty.
I don't think she ever gets dirty. So I'm not a Swiftie, but I like Taylor Swift. Let me tell you why. Because Taylor Swift is the epitome of capitalism. The way her father, who is some kind of investment stock banker, has pretty much set out her life, and the way she has acted, she doesn't do anything for free. She's in it for money. Unions and hotel workers in the cities that she goes to want to strike because they're not getting paid enough, and she doesn't care.
I love her already.
When
true, LA.
Yeah, when they try to do deals with her,
7 weeks.
Yeah, she is like a shark. She goes straight for the jugular. She goes straight for the money. She's hooked up with
her dad.
Oh, she does too. That's one and the same. She's entered into these partnerships with these they're not questionable, but with Capital One, for example, they're talking about how many young people now have taken out Capital One cards because of Taylor Swift. I mean, she is printing money.
She's money.
And at the same time, this is very hard to do. When she's not at the peak, she doesn't do anything political, and she just keeps humming along. I mean,
so what you're saying to me, all of this adulation she's getting for playing her concert through that rainstorm, did you see that? She was just soaking wet, thunder coming down, and she just played to them. Was not for the fans.
For the money.
It was for the money.
Yes.
Man, you are one
But she
dude.
started
And
in
I love
country.
And I love it.
She started
You're
in
really
country.
accurate, too, probably.
She was a country star.
Yeah.
And she crossed over. She's one of the few who really made it big in crossover.
Yeah. And I like her. And her music's not
She
bad.
knew she could never top Loretta Lynn.
Abandoning my favorite.
She knew she'd never be able to surpass Loretta Lynn and
Dolly Parton.
She had to get over into
Oh,
pop.
she's
For
gonna.
all that she had to beat out was Madonna to be known as the queen of all time.
I think at the end of her career, I think she's going to go down as probably one of the highest grossing artists up there with Elvis and MJ.
And the Beatles.
And the Beatles, of course. She'll probably end up owning the Beatles by the time she's done.
Yeah, like Michael Jackson's music was all sold to Sony.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. On a lighter note. Well, I got to start. No, and I'm not putting, please, folks. Jennifer.
Taylor Swift, not
Taylor Swift,
Jennifer Lopez.
nice
That's
person.
another one.
Yeah. I mean, I respect her. I'm open to all kinds of music. It would surprise you if I gave you my playlist. You know, I like all kinds of music. I like good music, but I like stuff that really touches me. It's exceptional stuff. You know, so
Taylor Swift songs.
Anyway, I'm going to give you. Hey, how about this Joe Kennedy? Not
Yeah.
Coach Joe Kennedy.
Coach out of Washington.
Are you looking at McCollum faces questions? Well, we're talking about a feel good story here. We only have a few minutes.
Oh, he's frozen.
He is not frozen.
Look at him.
And besides,
they can make a movie
his
named
doctor
Frozen.
his doctor gave him a clean bill of health. If you listen to him,
his
he's
doctor
smart.
was frozen.
He's sharp as a tack. No, he's sharp as a tack. You know who said that? Joe Biden. Joe Biden called him and said, he sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
I'd love to see both of them in the Oval Office having a meeting
What
together.
are they talking? Yeah.
Mitch,
Can you have two frozen people at the same time?
listen? Mitch McConnell just freezes. He doesn't shake hands with ghosts. And I'm tired of all this ageism.
I am too.
There shouldn't be an age limit.
No, there should.
No.
Yes, there definitely should be an age limit.
No, it's how then Reagan shouldn't have had a second term. And his daughter was on the news on CNN the other night, last night, as a matter of fact, saying her dad never had any of these symptoms. There was this thing, well, he had some before he left late in his second term. No, she says that he fell off the horse after he was out of office, had a severe brain injury, and that tends to trigger Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. But Mitch, after, hey, if he wants to check out for a couple of minutes, because if you notice, he comes back, clears the bell.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Just don't let him drive.
It's just like he pauses for a commercial. You're sitting there watching him, he freezes. You can go there, grab yourself a bowl of cereal or
restroom break,
a beer if you're drinking sort, come back. And then he picks up where he left off, clears a bell. So I'm not telling you, I'm not gonna go.
I've had kids in class like that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you one last chance, but the Hunter Biden did. I'm gonna give you one last chance. You in this very
Is
studio.
it an email you're sending?
Oh, why? Yeah, or the 5,000. Well, we worked together on this thing. But there was too much smoke. The guy now, President Biden, Joe Biden, has like 3 aliases that these emails are going to, and between him and his son, these names, something is like Rob B. Ware. Oh, that's funny. I think, Hunter came up with that one.
Are you serious?
Oh, gosh, yes, they have 3. There's 5,000 of those emails that the National Archives have. Now, get this. The National Archives will not turn it over to Jim Comer and Jim Jordan's committee. Doesn't that sound like a little bit like Trump saying, I'm not going to, because they feel the law interpreted, they don't really have to hand over unredacted stuff. And the committee says, yes, you do. We're the Congress. That's why they may have to go to impeachment inquiry to get these guys to do what they're supposed to. But there happens, is that not what Trump said to the archives with these classified documents? It isn't 100% clear who owns these.
Right.
I think the irony is so apparent. I mean, it's so thick, you got to swat it away. The hypocrisy is a better word. But anyway, I'm going to give you a chance. You sat right in this studio. I believe it was back in the old days. I was here.
Oh, I'm a double down.
I mean,
I am going to triple double down.
I told you, I made this statement. I gave you ample time to come on board throughout the preceding months. That this Hunter Biden laptop and everything about him being on the board of Burisma and all the stank that obviously is involved in that it could lead back to Joe Biden very easily. You scoffed. That's not quite how you did it. And since then, you have stayed totally committed to that position that it's nothing. that it's nothing to the American people. The laptop is not. The fact that Vice President's not selling American policy while he's Vice President.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Well, allegedly somebody killed Kennedy. Now, I didn't see the body fully. It was on video. And I said allegedly,
Have we really been to
Well,
the
allegedly
moon?
John Wilkes Booth killed.
Well, I don't think we have.
John Wilkes Booth killed the president. He never had a trial. How do we know for sure?
Yeah. So
Most people.
Could have been somebody else who broke their leg.
That's right.
it's
Jumping.
That's right. He's an actor too, man. Stain the profession forever. What a dang actor have to kill the president.
Listen.
You know how long we were trying to live that down as actors? You're an actor? Oh, John Wilkes Booth killed the president, didn't he? He was an actor. Oh, yeah. I mean, do you know probably for years, how long it took to let a Southern actor get within 100 miles of a president?
Really?
Well, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I would imagine. Go ahead. See, I'm not going to let time run out. See, you can get me off on another
Doubling
subject.
down.
I'll run out,
Double
and
down.
you don't have to answer.
Read my lips.
I'm looking right at them.
Read my lips. The laptop is going to turn out to be a big nothing burger. We're going to devote so much time, so much money, so much political capital on this that it's going to yield zero to no results. Now listen. Here's where I'm going to triple
Jeremy,
down.
do you hear this?
Here's where I'm going to triple down.
Do you hear this?
Here's the thing.
You have a young man in his early 20s that understands the absurdity of that comment.
I think he agrees with me. Was OJ guilty?
Huh?
Was OJ guilty?
Absolutely.
Were we able to prove it?
Yes.
Hey,
No, in a court of law.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
That's right.
But it's fitting.
Is it though?
The offshore bank accounts. Yes, the aliases. The text that said to his buddy, Hunter's buddy, going, man, I wish I didn't have to give 50% of everything I have to my pops. That text alone.
What if? And listen, if I were Hunter,
what if there was a text?
Hunter's attorney, I would say yeah.
You'd cut a deal. Right?
I would say I probably would just for the money, but I would probably say he did nothing wrong. Prove that he did something wrong. The fact that he sits on boards. What law did he break? The fact that you're getting paid for your time serving on the board. What law did you? So I don't want people to.
When you're part of an enterprise, there's more of a RICO case.
Agreed.
With this, an enterprise selling influence.
Yeah.
With all the moving parts. And by the way, people understand this. To be bribed, to be guilty of bribery, you don't have to take the money. If somebody close to you.
Sure.
So Joe Biden can never take a cent, but they're going to find it out. They already know. They've got the smoking guns. Believe me, in October next year, they're going to run this thing through. The evidence is going to be overwhelming, and they're holding back the knockout punch. They're going to batter Joe Biden with this and Hunter Biden, probably to the point where he drops out and Gavin Newsom comes in with somebody else.
No, not going to happen.
Oh, gosh.
It's not going to happen.
There's too much. Even people on the left are saying, wow, this is too much. They have enough circumstantial evidence right now to convict him and lead back to Joe Biden because of the timelines. The timelines they've constructed. Phone call to Hunter. Yeah, but we need help over here. 2 days later, Biden's on a plane going to Ukraine.
You have to. Your
fires
facts.
the prosecutor. And let me ask you this: he says Joe Biden on camera says you got to fire the guy, and they did. And he says, but the guy told me it's not American policy. We've already been promised this money by President Obama. He says, oh, yeah, call him. That was the policy, to already pay them that money. Joe Biden arbitrarily held it back. He either did that or he made a deal. Hold on to your hats here. Made a deal with Barack Obama. Obama knew he was going to go over and make that extortion demand to fire Victor Shogun, the prosecutor. They went, tried to assassinate his character, that he was the one crooked, the one that wants to investigate the crooked Burisma board is the one they accuse of being crooked. And
standard practice.
It doesn't make sense. The guy, and it makes sense too, to me, Joe Biden, when he was doing all this shenanigans, he did that as vice president. That's enough to get yourself impeached. That's enough to go to prison. That's a high crime and misdemeanor. If you're taking a bribe and one of your family members benefits as a result of that, because immediately after that, he told them to fire the prosecutor, and they did. 3 days later, Hunter Biden got a check for $multi-million. Okay, the timeline, in those timelines are all over the place. Where phone call followed by a check, illegal activity followed by a check.
At the end of the day, like in the OJ case, your facts have to hit the elements of the law or whatever violation that is being claimed. Unfortunately, with the way things are set up, and the Bidens aren't stupid. They're gonna wiggle their way out. Nothing's gonna happen.
Here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you what I think. What the evidence is that they can't walk back from. They can't get away from. And Comer has it. He's already floated that they have it. They're already starting to get bank accounts now.
Show me the money.
So when the bank accounts,
show me the money
comes into the Joe Biden bank account, and they follow that, and it's in the bank account, you're done.
Show me the money.
You're done. All right. Well, just wait.
Show me the money.
Guillermo, Moreno, Larry Powell, love you, folks. Love you for tuning in. Bless your heart. Just do your best. Let God do the rest, and I promise it'll turn out the way it's supposed to. And I'll see you on Thursday, hopefully.
Dolly Parton over Taylor Swift.
Never.
Till then.